Hello, writers, readers, and everyone in between. I wanted to do a very, very quick final review of the Talks with T journal by TD. If you remember, back in December 2021, I did like a first impression review of this journal. And I was telling you, about the forgiveness activity, which I'm going to revisit. Because if you recall in that first video, I was unable to come up with an answer to that activity. Well, I did it, and I'm going to share with you my answers. So, full disclosure, number one, I'm very close with the creator of this journal, Talks with TD. I'm very close with her. She had no idea that I was going to do this review. She also had no idea that I was going to do a final review of it as well. Also, I had no idea what was in this journal. I had nothing to do with the content of this journal. This is all 100% her creation. She did call and ask me things like technical stuff like font size and things of that matter. But again, I had no idea what was in this journal. So here are my thoughts. This journal is perfect for people who are beginning their journaling journey. Say that 3 times fast. So this book is good for people who are just like discovering themselves and doing self-help, self-love, self-discovery, self-discipline. You trying to figure out a pathway to you in the year 2022. Here you go. This is for you. This journal was not very time consuming. In fact, I have a note down here that said I did this on 12/16/2021, and it took me from 5:47 a.m. to 5:53 a.m. to complete the forgiveness activity, which, like I said, I'm going to dig deeper in that a little bit later in the video. So, it's not that time consuming. And because it's not that time consuming, it is perfect for my folks whom I meet at vending events and they say things like, oh, I would journal, but I don't have the time. You can dedicate 5 to 10 minutes to, self-love. You can dedicate 5-10 minutes to yourself. You really can. For those who need help with, time scheduling and like when to journal. Me personally, I journal throughout the day, but I like to start my day with journaling. So one of the things that I do is I get up, I may go through my phone, see what's on television. Sometimes I wake up before my alarm, sometimes I don't. If I wake up before my alarm, I look to check what time it is. And shout out to my big sis, Kima girl, who told me this. She said she likes to wake up like 30 minutes to an hour before everyone in her house wake up. And then that time will be dedicated to her. She do everything she wants to do during that time. And I started that practice, and it has helped me out with my mental health and my sanity tremendously. So you can wake up 5 to 10 minutes, 15 minutes earlier before everyone else and do the activities in this journal. One thing that I wish that it did for me personally is that I wish it went an extra step. So for me, as someone who has literally been journaling like all my life, I needed for it to take me to the next level. I'm going to explain that a little bit more when I talk about this forgiveness journey. Also, I wish for me that it had a place where I could put the time and the date. So like I did the goal activity and I wrote that. This is one of the few pages where I didn't put the time or the day that I worked on this. And I wish I did, because I like to go back just to see my growth and be like, wow, this is what I was thinking on this day and how old I was. But, it's still a good journal, and I'm still recommending it. But I'm especially or specifically recommending it for those who are beginning in their journaling, in their journal journey, in their journal journey, and those who have time constraints. So the forgiveness activity. So this is the random page that I started reading when I initially did the first review. And it said, write down 5 things that you forgive yourself for. Once you write these things down, you cannot dwell on them anymore. Write it down and let it go. Okay. So in the first video, I couldn't come up with anything. Like nothing really came to mind. So what I have is I don't have 5 things that I need to forgive myself for. I have 3. And the first thing that I need to forgive myself for is I need to forgive myself for not spending more time with my dad the day he died. I had a chance to and I didn't. So my father died January the 29th, 2005, a day before I turned 22. And my father had picked me up from work because I wasn't driving at the time. I didn't have any kids. And he took me everywhere I wanted to go. Like we ran errands that day. Well, he ran errands with me that day. And he dropped me off. The last place he dropped me off was at my hair appointment. Now, I didn't call my father back to pick me up because my father worked nights. And I wanted him to have an opportunity to rest since he drove me around that morning. Well, it wasn't until years later that my mom told me that he was actually waiting for me to call him back. And I'm glad I didn't know that initially when he passed. But when I found out, it always sat with me, right? And the interesting thing is that I recorded a video before this one, about a week ago. And I was still emotionally there. But talking about it, and I talked about it even with T, having talked about it and now I'm posting this video, I don't feel as heavy as I did. So I guess I am letting it go. The second thing that I need to forgive myself for is not publishing my books and not finishing my series sooner. So for those who don't know, I started my writing journey, my published writing journey in 2013 when I published my first book, The First Book of Carrie. And I left it an open ending so that I could do a sequel. So it's 2022 and there is no sequel. The reason why is because honestly, I feared that I wouldn't be able to live up to the first one. I got so much good positive feedback about the first one. I was scared to even touch it. The second one, it's like, I don't know how to make the story better or improve upon the story. So I was standing in my own way. So I need to forgive myself for doing that and just know that things are going to happen in this time, right? I mean, George R.R. Martin is still writing Fire and Ice. And he started that in the 90s. So I think I need to chill. And the last thing that I need to forgive myself for is not being able to provide my daughters with the life I feel they deserve. So I kind of feel like this is one of those things I think that every parent goes through. It's like no matter how much you do, you don't always feel like you're doing enough. And I think the easiest way that I could possibly combat that is just talk to them and ask them like how they like and what's going on and how I can improve myself. I mean, it's not like they're complaining to me. This is just something that I'm dealing with myself. And I wrote a note at the bottom of the page and it said, I made peace with a lot of things in my life and I don't have any regrets. Well, many regrets, and I don't have many regrets. And I kind of wish that this journal would have asked me, why did I pick the 3 things that I picked? And how can I move forward? That's what I mean, like I wanted more. Like I was on a cusp of a breakthrough, and it was like, I'm almost there. But again, this is still a great journal for those who are just starting out in journaling. And for those who have time constraints. So I definitely do recommend the It only costs $10, and I'll have all the contact information and buying information. Link will be in the description. So start your 2022 off the right way. Get this journal. I definitely recommend, and I would like to set up an actual talk with T so that she can tell you like what's happening with her community moving forward. Where does she see this going, and will there be another talk? Will we be talking with T again? I sure hope so. So this is Dominique for Dominique Recommends, and I recommend this journal. All right, y'all, be blessed, and I'll see you soon. Peace.